Ms Legalista here. Welcome. Glad to have you on board. I've got this huge band-aid on my finger this morning because I burnt my hand with some water trying to make some hot chocolate this morning. And it is May, so you're probably wondering why I'm even having a hot chocolate in May because it was a little chilly outside this morning. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about Billy McFarland, convicted fraudster who co-founded the Fyre Festival, which resulted in two documentaries because of how bad the downfall was with that. Actually, first of all, I'm going to stop calling him Fraudster Billy or Fraudster McFarland or convicted fraudster because we want to give people this opportunity to turn over a new leaf and to do things differently. And that's sort of where I'm going with this. He has restitution out there that he has to pay back. It is in the millions of dollars. We're going to take a look at that, and we're going to take a look at some of the ways that he has been trying to raise money in order to pay all of this money back.
Yeah.
So let's get started. Let me pull up a couple of things here just to bring us back up to speed with how much money he has to pay back. Now, if you recall, he was sentenced to 6 years for his role in the whole Fyre Festival fiasco, where he had made false statements, engaged in multiple fraudulent schemes, as you see here. Maybe I'll just take myself out so we can see that. McFarland, 26 of New York, was sentenced to 6 years in prison to be followed by 3 years of supervised release and a $500 special assessment. He was also ordered to forfeit $26,191,306.28. That is a lot. He also has to pay back some other things too. So he is working on that, has been working on that. He actually says he's going to pay all of this money back. And you guys, that's a lot of money to pay back. You let me know. We're going to go through some of the ways he's been looking at paying this back, and we're going to see, is this going to work? Is he going to have enough time in his life to be able to pay almost 27 million just in that restitution alone there? But he's been doing some things. Let's see what we've got going on here with what he's been doing. Let me scroll through these, see if I can bring these back up. Let's put me back in here so we can talk about this together. All right, so you see how much he has there. So he also says he's going to be sharing as he goes through this the amount of money that he's paying back. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of research to see when he first started sharing these amounts. It may have been prior to this, but this is the first one that I've seen. And so he said, so far, he says, April was stronger for restitution. I paid $8,584.53 this month, bringing the totals since my August 30th release to restitution, $38,482. Now remember, that's out of that the millions we saw. And for the Bahamas, for the people there, $2,273. He says, I will be posting monthly updates until everyone is paid. I'll say a couple of things here about this. I have to give him credit for at least, being transparent about what he's paying back and how much he's paying back. I do want to give him credit for that because what he did was not, you know, he cost a lot of people a lot of money. And I'm not just talking about the people who went there and who bought into the whole Fyre Festival and wanted to be a part of the end cool thing, I'm not just talking about those, but I'm talking about workers who lost a lot too. So the idea that he is going to at least put out there for the public the amount that he's paying back, I think is a good thing. Now, I do have some concerns about some of the other things that he's doing, but we'll save that for a different video. But let me go ahead and just jump back into where he is with this money here. So as you see, and you saw how much it was, we were talking about $27 million. And $8,584, that's not money to sneeze at. That's quite, I know plenty of people who would say, I would take that as a monthly salary. In this case, that's not quite what it is, but I know plenty of people who would say, I would take that. So that is not anything to sneeze at. I know it sounds like it's just this tiny bit compared to how much he has to pay back, but you guys, no, that's some money there. And you can see people are, checking out what he's doing. Okay. All right. Now, here are some of the ways that he's coming up with this money. Now, you guys, he's got this join build with Billy. It's called Build with Billy. It's a 15-week program. It costs $4.99. I'm actually going to do another video just on that because I want to show you what these 15 sessions are. But it's $4.99, and it says here you get 15 live sessions. There is no way I would pay for this. If it were a little cheaper, I might pay for it just to check it out. But it's 15 live sessions, hopefully with him, I guess. Access to the pirate crew community. So he's building a community. Private phone number for Billy. Intro 15-minute one-on-one video call with Billy. 25% off one-on-one consulting with Billy. All live sessions will be recorded and provided on demand after each session. So he has bought into the whole I'm going to sell a course structure. That some people have found that to be a whole scheme in and of itself. But let me talk about just that for a second, because some things to think about include this. Maybe there are lessons to be learned that he can share. There may be some nuggets of gold in it. Now, first of all, it would be like, don't scam the people who are buying your product or service. But no. But what about the whole marketing aspect of how he was able to work with influencers, how he was able to build an audience, how he was able to get people talking about it? There may be some value in sharing that information. And if you're a person like me who likes to talk about things, I've taught some classes, I love teaching. And so this is a way for you to do it. We don't put down teachers in school, so let's not put down teachers who are out here peddling courses if they're good courses. So that would be the I guess asterisk or icing that I would place on that cake. So that's his join. That's the build with Billy piece there that you see. Okay, so he's got that. So he says, yeah, this is going to be a long journey. The cheese sandwich pop-up last weekend was underwhelming, and I think I removed my other picture about this. Maybe I'll do a separate one on that too. We sold 65 sandwiches at $5 each in 3 hours. Real Andy King and I are each matching the 325 and rounding up to make it a 1K day for those owed in the Bahamas. Okay, so this is directly from his Twitter feed. Okay, this is where he was sharing this. I think look, I can't even keep up. Was this Twitter or his Instagram? This was on Twitter. Okay, you can see there. But yes, he did this pop-up selling cheese sandwiches. Now, it is going to be hard. Let me just say this. To make enough money selling cheese sandwiches to pay back that restitution and the people in the Bahamas. So, yeah, but I do like the idea that, again, he's sharing, he's trying. I mean, because that's the thing, getting out there just hustling, selling cheese sandwiches. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a way to do some things. Raise some more money because that's what he needs to be doing. All right, so then he's got this whole pirate thing here, and I cannot get over why he would pick that name when you think about what pirate means when you look it up, and this is what he wants to call this. So this is the technology sort of thing that he's been talking about. It says is pirate is a culmination of the experiences, lessons, ideas, and people from my past companies. And you guys can go to this site. It's like a slide deck with all of these things in here about what this technology slash, I don't know, experience video, whatever company is going to do. But he says here, 20% of pirate will be dedicated to past investors, shareholders, customers, members, and other supports to whom I owe my dedication. Okay. I don't know what that means. Like, what does that really mean? As I was actually looking at this deck, and I'm going to go through it on another video, but as I was looking at, I could not help but think one thing. And that is, it still sounds like nothing speak. It's nothing talk. It's when you say all of this stuff, but ordinary people have no idea what you're really talking about. It's not like you're saying, I'm going to the grocery store, I got a grocery list, and I'm going to pick up some milk, some eggs, some yogurt, some chicken wings, and over in the produce section, I'm going to grab some pre-packaged salad mixes. No, instead, you're saying, well, I'm going to the grocery store because as I've been thinking about groceries, food is one of those things that I think we should be focusing a lot on. And it's really important that we start to take food into account when we're thinking about how we're going to interact with people daily, because that's where our energy comes from. And so when I go into the grocery store, those are the kinds of foods that I'm going to be looking for, foods that provide nourishment. I mean, I feel like that's what I was reading. Instead of just this straightforward deck that gives you information in a very straightforward manner so that people can understand it, you get this whole big spill and then you're not exactly sure what it is he's talking about. Like, I feel like he still is in this space where he needs to speak the tech speak in order to still fit in to that tech culture and be able to get the eyeballs and the audience and ultimately to get the money. That's just how I felt about it when I was looking at it. I mean, I want him to have a real product, something that will bring value to people if that is what they're interested in having, and something that he can sell and get money and pay people back. Like, that's where we want him to go. But the layout of it, I was just like, dude, I don't even know what you're saying here on part of this. I just really didn't. I felt some kind of way about it. So then he says, this group will be branded as pirate OGs. Oh, goodness. Okay, see, I hadn't even really read all of this. And will be overseen by a third party advisor to administer the capitalization. See what I mean? Y'all see what I mean, right? It was the coming together of these people and experiences that led to Pirate. Therefore, they are Pirate's silent lead investors and own the 20% equity typically received by the investors in an early financing. So I don't know where that money's going. Like, I'm not sure what it looks like, but I'm sure, we're going to find out some more about it. I don't know if this one is a good thing or not, but this is what he's really been pushing. Okay, then I saw this, the consulting fee piece. Now, I tried to go back and find out this, to find this Calendly link where he was charging for the $1,800 consulting fee. I couldn't find it. All I could find were news reports about it. This one's from Vigor Times, where it says Fyre Fest Fraudster, and I told you I'm trying to move away from that name, Billy McFarland asking $1,800 an hour for, quote, consulting. Well, I mean, it's something. Like I said, there may be some value there in what he has and the experiences that he can share. Now, there's also this trading card thing. And let me see if I can actually go to, is it TikTok or Instagram, someplace, and we're going to, I guess, run some of this in the background or something. You know what? Before I go to the trading cards, actually, let me go to the website that did the article, because there were a couple things I think I just wanted to look at in that article that they were talking about. And let's look at this $1,800. I guess it was through Calendly where you could sign up to have this consulting session with Billy McFarland. We are here on this site. So here's the actual article here that we're looking at. And yes, let me scroll down to things. Okay, so infamous Fyre Festival fraudster Billy McFarland thinks an hour of his valuable time is worth nearly $2,000. And again, like I said, he's got this like $26 million restitution that he has to pay. They're calling it a new scheme, recently launched a new scheme. It depends. It's hard to call something a scheme if you're not entirely sure what the other person is offering. It's a contract between two parties. Now, if the other party doesn't feel like they're getting the value of $1,800, and not getting what Billy is telling the other person that they're going to be giving in this session, then yeah, it could be a scheme. But there are plenty of people who provide consulting services, and it's not necessarily a scheme. So, I'm going to do a thumbs down on the scheme language there. But even though they're taking into account his history, it says a link from the bare bones pirate site to the business communication platform Calendly, that is what he is using here, shows McFarland's hourly consulting fee at $1,800, designed to help tech companies expand their reach on social media platforms. And you can see what some people said there. But yeah, I was trying to scroll down because I thought they had a picture of it. So here is what they were saying, what they shared in the article. But yeah, you can see how people would still be very upset that there some people are upset, and this is what I really heard some people say in some of the comments on some of the different platforms as he is sharing some of this information. They're just like, dude, stop trying to hype yourself up, stop trying to let everything be about you, and just go out and get a job and try to work and show up every day, do that work, and have a payment plan to pay people back. It's a legitimate statement, right? It's a legitimate statement. My question is, which way is going to earn him the most money that can get him paid back faster? I suspect that he might have a hard time finding a regular job. How many companies, even tech companies, are going to want to put a public face on him, like bring him in and say, yes, we're the ones who hired the fraudster who now has to pay like millions of dollars of restitution? If you're a publicly traded company, it's like your shareholders are like, we don't want to be associated with that. We feel really bad about what he did to those people. Why did you hire him? So there could be a backlash. And yet you have some agencies that are sort of already representing him, trying to help him get jobs. But I could see where people who have served time, this is not something I'm making up. They generally have a harder time getting a job once they're out, and having people look at them differently because now they've got public baggage. See, we all have baggage. They just got public baggage. The rest of us got private baggage for who knows how long, because it could become public one day. But yeah, I could imagine he could have a hard time finding a traditional job. That's the first problem. And then the second problem is he going to make enough money to have his living expenses paid and then be able to pay significant amounts, not pay a little amount, but pay significant amounts toward this restitution? I just see him getting a regular job as being a hard ask there. I think that's a hard thing for him to accomplish now. Okay, now let me go back to wherever it was that I was. We were talking about how much is Billy McFarland's trading card worth, and I think we were going to TikTok or something like that to check out this video. Let me see if I can bring this up so that we can look at it, because it shows him going into, I think it's Leaf trading cards, and he's got a big card and he's got some little cards. But let me stop talking about it so I can bring it up. So here's the site here.
Well, this will be a one of one, I guess.
Yeah, this is the only one.
You're at least going to be sitting at like $500 for that, maybe 1,000.
One of one.
Okay.
And these are one of 1,000. We're trying to fund the new business, pay some restitution, give some money to the Bahamas. So
I went to the trading site to try to pull it up to see what was going on and if it was being sold. Now, let me see if I can find that, because when I pulled it up, this is what I got. I put in his name, and maybe it's under pirate or something. Oops, sorry, let me pull it up so you can see it. I put in his name, and this is what comes up. It says no results found for Billy McFarland. I mean, I'm spelling his name right. It says check the spelling or use a different word or phrase. I don't know. Maybe it's under Pirate Billy or something. I didn't look that hard for it. Okay. Let me just be honest about that. But you know where I did also go? I also went to eBay. this came up with eBay. eBay apparently has got a little bit more out here about him. So I thought this was a little interesting. So they do have card here, Billy McFarland 2022 Leaf Pop Century Influencer Auto Card. And here was the thing. I didn't know that influencer cards were a thing. Pop Century Influencer. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, okay. Here's one for $195. Okay, that's what popped up, you guys. Would you pay for that? $99. Similar sponsored items down here at the bottom. So you've got $99. So you can get one a little cheaper. You've got Olivia. So if you're not familiar with her, you can look her up. But I definitely believe hers is selling a whole lot more at $750. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan selling for $200. Jake Paul for $249. Whoops, sorry. And then we get down here, $249, keeping it real, $72. And then we get down here to the very end, and it's this one for $39.99. So you don't even have to pay that big amount that we saw earlier. You can pay the $39.99 here, down here at the end. Oh, well. So I don't know. Like I said, I didn't even know they were a thing. I guess they are. Let me get back to our next item that we need to see. All right, so we've got those trading cards we've gone through. We didn't find anything. Okay, so now we have the speaking engagement piece here, okay, where he was getting this consulting fee to speak at this event. And I think we actually had to have the order from the judge. And I actually pulled that back up so that we could see the breakdown on this. But this New York Post article that was out in March 2023 says District Judge Naomi Buchwald approved the trip on March 9th, signing off on McFarland forking over just 40% of his $18,731 fee to victims. So that's how much his fee is. And this article actually talks about, I feel like it talked more about what kind of event this was. Like, this was like your typical technology event that looks more like a party than people trying to work on a plan. That's what it sounded like the article was trying to say. But I do want to pull up her order so that we could go through that and maybe see exactly what was going on with this. Of course, if I can find it. This is like a needle in a haystack for me, guys. I don't know how to tell you this, but this dilemma when you've got like 15 screens open and you have to go back and find the right tab because there's so many of them. Let's take a look at what was submitted to the court here via ECF. So submitted electronically. March 9th, 2023, application granted. USV William McFarland. All right, this went to the judge. This firm represents William McFarland in connection with service of his 3-year term of supervised release. I write to follow up on my February 14th, 2023, February 16th, and February March 3rd letters to this court seeking a modification to the terms of Mr. McFarland's supervised release for purposes of travel to Wiesbaden, Germany, April 15th through April 16th, to speak at the Founders Summit 2023 by Entrepreneur University. Per the instructions I received today from the U.S. Probation Department, the following is a breakdown of how Mr. McFarland will use the funds he earns from his proposed speaking engagement in Germany. All of the dollar figures below are based on today's euro-dollar exchange rate, but ultimately will be set by the euro-dollar exchange rate on the date Mr. McFarland is paid for his speaking engagement, which obviously may vary from today's euro-dollar exchange rate. So here we go. So you see the euro amount, 17,700, which translates into about almost $19,000. All right, so here's the restitution. Here's the breakdown of these expenses. The restitution amount that's going to be paid is $7,492.69. Airfare is $1,222. Hotel is $224. It's going to be $112 a night for 2 nights. taxes, assuming a 40% tax rate, which amount will be sent to Mr. McFarland's accountant for purposes of payment of taxes, $7,492.69. And then the net income is to him, this is how much Mr. McFarland, Billy McFarland, is actually going to receive, $2,300.35. All right. And it says the foregoing represents the agreement that Mr. McFarland, at this court's direction, reached with the U.S. Probation Department. Okay. So that's, and you can see the last part here. That is how much he got out of that. So you can see a lot of the money went to taxes and to restitution. He got about $2,300 from that. All right. So that takes care of that piece. And I think that's it. Those are all of the things that I wanted to talk about that he's sort of working on. Let me see if I left anything out here as I'm looking back through my notes. We know how much he has to pay in restitution, right? It's over $20 million. He's got this Build with Billy consulting course. We'll call it a course. He's got the Build with Billy course, which is $4.99. He's got pop-ups, I guess he's going to continue to do. There were some people who had left some comments saying, oh, I didn't know about it. Next time, let me know about it. I'll show up. So maybe he's going to do more pop-ups. He's got the pirate piece that I don't even really understand. He's got the consulting, which is $1,800 a pop. He's got the trading cards where, I mean, I don't know how much money he got from that. It's not clear. And then he's got speaking fees. The first one, which was $19,000 and which resulted in $7,000 back to pay off the restitution. So those look like some of the ways that he is working towards paying this money back, both the restitution and the amount to Bahamas. And hopefully he can pull this off. Like, I want to see him become a good person and be able to pay these things off, you know? We just don't want this sort of idea where, you know, he serves his time and then because of the barriers that he's now facing, the people don't even get the money back. So I would like to see people be paid back, especially those who worked in the Bahamas and suffered because of what happened. So if you got an update about restitution, how this money's being paid back, hoping that he succeeds with paying them back also, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.